So first, I'm going to ask you to take a look at this, and this is, a lot of colors going on, but look around the screen and ask yourself, are the colors changing just a little bit? So if you look at this and look around the screen a little bit, do you see any kind of movement with the objects there? All right, last little trick for this morning. When you look at this, can you ask yourself, are the colors that are in the squares where A and B, are they the same color? What if I told you that A and B squares both had the same RGB code value of 120, 120, 120? I can prove it to you another way. Here we go. So A and B, if I draw the lines across it using lines that are the code value 120, 120, 120, you can see that they're the same. So all of this to say that color science is a very complicated topic that has to deal with the rods and cones in your eyeballs and how those signals are transmitted to your brain. And I'm not going to go into levels of detail beyond that, and we're just going to talk about color for the next 20 minutes. So welcome. This presentation is going to be about on-set color and look management, and my name is Tim Walker. I'm a senior product manager at AJA Video Systems. I look after a number of products in their portfolio, but most importantly today is their range of color products. I've got a Bachelor's of Science degree in Mechatronic Engineering from California State University, Chico. So when we talk about color workflows, what are the goals? What are we trying to accomplish? So we want to capture video correctly. We want to assist with look management. We want to distribute video to others. We want to maintain creative intent from onset to post. And most of all, we need to be efficient with our time. So what are some of the challenges? Some of the challenges that you face on set are you may have sources with different native color spaces. You have to consider the different deliverables that you have, whether they're SDR, HLG, or PQ. You have to consider the resolutions, 1080p, 2K, 4K, 8K. What are the deliverables? And who are you delivering it to? Is it for television, digital cinema, or maybe even mobile? Then you have to generate and modify the look for the content. And you need to be able to communicate these color decisions with others. And one of the more important things is maintaining fidelity, and again, we come back to time management. So these are the challenges that you may face. So when we talk about dynamic range and gamut, there's lots of different things that are out there. You've got universal spaces like ACEs. You've got different camera log formats like Sony S-Log3, ARRI Log C4, Red Log 3 G10, and others. Then you've got your different display formats, which are SDR BT709. You've got HLG BT2020, PQ BT2020, and also P3. And here becomes a challenge of how do you convert between some of these different dynamic ranges, gamuts, and color spaces. There's different ways. You can use 3D LUTs, which are lookup tables and can include some creative decisions. You can use 1D LUTs, and you want to have 12-bit quality 1D LUTs that can help you maybe make better use of the code values in your 3D LUT, which maybe I'll explain in a little bit more later. And 3x3 matrices, which are mathematical formulas used for color correction or color space conversion. But it's really the combination of all of these which can yield the highest quality and most precise conversion. Now when we talk about look management, what does this really mean? And what is a look and how do I modify it? So a look is really a creative LUT that is designed to match the story and technology. And you can see my example here on the upper left about the Joker and how they used a LUT that made it feel cold. And so you can create your own LUTs with the help of a colorist. You can purchase them, or you can even get some that are freely available on the web. Once you have your LUT, maybe you need to modify that look on set because what you're seeing there is different than maybe what you saw when you were creating the LUT. And so to do that, you would adjust something called the color decision list, a CDL. And this is changing the slope, offset, power, and saturation generally of the signal. And there's different software tools that are on the market, like Pomfort's Live Grade products or Simulate's Live Looks that can do this, and others. And the combination of using these tools is helpful for communicating the creative intent to others that need to hear about it, that may be dailies or post-production. So next, fidelity and the creative intent. So what is fidelity and how do I maintain it? So you want to capture the highest quality encoding possible. So this would be capturing raw or log directly out of the camera. You also want to capture the highest resolution possible. If you guys were here yesterday listening to Dan Duran at Red, he was also saying this. Capture higher resolution, it's going to result in a higher quality product. You also want to capture the highest bit depth possible. 12-bit RGB 444 would be a good place to start. You also want to capture and share high quality reference images. 16-bit TIFF files are ideal for that. And for onset look management, you want to make sure you have a calibrated monitor and a high-quality LUT-based processor. And in total, you want to bake in as little as possible into the ISO recordings of the camera itself. And all of this ensures that archive and post-production have the best, highest quality content to work with. So this is where we're going to introduce the concept of a color-managed workflow. And so what is a color-managed workflow? It's an understanding of color spaces, conversion techniques to ensure color is represented accurately and consistently from glass to glass, camera to final color grade, no matter the input or the output. And the benefits of a color-managed workflow are many, but you can share accurate images on set with lighting, makeup, camera, set design, and other executives that may be on set. You can share accurate images on and offset with dailies, editorial, VFX, and final color. So what if? What if you had a tool that could help you set up faster, convert dynamic range and gamuts with high precision, support look management, help calibrate displays, and produce high quality images, making it easily possible to share your color decisions and reduce errors in post-production, which is also key. What if you had a tool that could help you do this? And so this is where I'd like to reveal AJA's star product. This is the new ColorBox that we have designed and developed. And it's designed for many applications, such as onset looks and LUT management, helps with camera log, SDR, and HDR conversions, monitor calibration. And while it says here 4K Ultra HD and HD workflows, you know, we can work with many different resolutions in this product. So looking at it from front to back, it's got 12 GSDI inputs and outputs to support up to 4K 60 or 50p, 12-bit RGB 444 workflows for that high fidelity. It also has an HDMI 2.0 output for those that have an HDMI display they need to connect to. And it also has a 4-pin mini XLR power connector, which allows you to connect this thing up to battery-powered, maybe on a DIT cart, for example. And so this is the workflow that we're kind of talking about. So you've got a camera output that's going into a router. You may have one or many different color boxes that are assisting in color transforms in that look management, processing those 3D LUTs and CDLs that you're making changes to while you're on set. And outputting to a couple displays. In this case, this example, we're showing HDR and SDR, but it doesn't have to be that. So you can validate on set the look that you're creating and making sure that your director of photography is happy with the outcome. So this is the user interface served up by the AJA ColorBox. It's rich and easy to use. You can see here we're kind of highlighting what we call the AJA color pipeline, and it processes video in full 12-bit RGB. It's built around a 33-point 3D LUT processor in the middle, surrounded by 2 1D LUTs, 3x3 matrices, and additional 1D LUTs, as well as a cool overlay function. And it's all controllable by third parties. It supports an open API, which allows anybody to control it through the API. So with the overlay, it allows you to do a number of cool things. One, you can overlay simply text if you're trying to communicate to people what's on the image, or you can actually even overlay frame lines or logos and that type of thing. So pretty powerful overlay function. It also has a built-in frame store, allowing you to capture high-quality reference images. I mentioned earlier the idea about 16-bit TIFF images. You can capture these locally on the ColorBox and send them to people further downstream in the color processing pipeline. It also has a built-in test pattern generator to help you get set up quickly and get going. A lot of people ask about latency. It's quite an extensive color processing pipeline that we have. In the process, no matter what frame rate or resolution or conversion that we're doing, we'll process video in less than half of a video line. So extremely low latency. So some of the partners that we have done a lot of work with this product, we've got ColorFront, Orion Convert, BBC HLG LUTs, NBCU LUTs. Those are all different kind of color processing technologies that are included and available within the product. And to date, we've got integrations with Assimilate, Pomfort, Scarhoy, CyanView, QTake, Calman, and Light Illusion. So lots of different companies that are controlling the ColorBox natively through their software and benefiting from all the different things that I've spoken about earlier. So with that, I say merci. Thank you for your time, and hope you have a great show. If you'd like to learn more about ColorBox, please visit the AJA stand around the corner from here. Thank you.